Hello everyone, my name is Lizz Ikanaka and welcome to my plan with me for May 2018. So, April is coming to a close. By the time you guys get this video, I believe it will already be May 1st. So, let's get started with planning, shall we? So let's start with the cover page, which is pretty much just the word May, and some decorations. So before we get started with working on the monthly cover page, I would like to say that the theme, as you can probably tell by the washi tape, is going to be something along the lines of stars and the galaxy and that kind of stuff. The accent color of my choice will be this, I guess, kind of golden mild liner. Yeah, I just really like the zebra mild liners. It smears a lot, but it's pretty good for what I want to do. So I'm gonna draw the Taurus horoscope star sign because that, according to Google, Taurus is the first of the two zodiac signs for this month. So I'm just gonna, before we get started with that, I'm just gonna draw the letters for May. I'm just gonna do some lettering for the word May. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Today you'll be seeing me set up all of the stuff associated with May, except for the, I don't know, the other 3 weekly spreads, but yeah, that'll be pretty good. And if you want to see the final results, just feel free to pop by my Instagram if you want to see the finished results in better detail, which is at Lizz Ikanaka. So with that out of the way, let's get started, shall we? Alright, so now that we're done with our cover page, let's move on to the next set of spreads in this May bullet journal. So one of the first things that I did when I set up my bullet journal was make a 2018 goals section. And I'm going to be doing something similar, though it's going to be something that I'm only going to do for an individual month basis, just to remind myself of some goals that I want to set, because I've been realizing that I've been feeling more down lately and I want to try pick myself back up and make myself feel better again. So I'm going to do a goals for May section. So I'm gonna be doing all the calligraphies and that kind of stuff, and this process will be sped up. So let's go! Alright, and we're back with setting up May. So while my camera was out of commission, I decided to do little sketches of what my monthly log and all this stuff is gonna look like. So I already set up the basic layout and sketched it out because some of them I am going to try new styles for these kind of stuff, so I decided to experiment a little before I started filming on camera since it did take a while to set this up. As for the monthly log, everything seems to be pretty much like last week. Or not, rather, everything seems to be pretty much like last month, except it takes up more space since I'm actually starting at the beginning of a month. So it's just gonna be a matter of outlining all this kind of stuff. Alright, so now that we're done with our monthly log, let's get started on our main mood tracker. So for this month, I decided to go for something a little bit different. So as you can probably see, there's a little diamond shape thing, and it's pretty much going to determine your mood, or rather it illustrates your mood, and it's dependent on the height or length of your line. So I'm just gonna turn these into dotted lines, and then once that's done, when that day comes, I'll make the line, and then the length of the line, like I said, determines my mood, and it'll have a little star topper at the top, and I'll post it on Instagram once that goes up. I also consider this the quality of life tracker because that's what we gotta do, right? I mean, like, keep track of our, I don't even know what this Q is, but it's important to know how your quality of life is and why. So by having a bullet journal, for me, it helps me keep track of this kind of stuff. So I know I'm not really following traditional cursive rules right now, but that's okay. And on the bottom, you can see that I have a little quote that says, "There are good and bad times, but our mood changes more often than our fortune." So I don't know, I just thought that quote was really nice, and I decided to include that there because I thought it was nice. Quotes are really nice to look at, so I like to have a little quotes in my life, you know? So now that we're done with both our mood tracker and our month log, let's move on to the habit log. So I pretty much just sketched this out already because, yeah, there's a lot of things to cover here. So let me just, it's pretty much going to be a matter of doing calligraphy and tracing over what I already have. Now moving on to the expense and gratitude tracker. So I found that the expense tracker is surprisingly sometimes hard to keep up with, but I think that's just because I'm not very good at keeping myself accountable for purchases, and for whatever reason, whenever I inputted anything or whenever I bought something, my phone was dying, so I had to scramble it in on Keep. So something that I like to see in spreadsheets is when spreadsheets get to alternate colors. So I'm not gonna alternate between gold because that's gonna be extremely redundant and it's not gonna be that appealing, since yellow is kind of a color that people don't like seeing large amounts of, especially the color of yellow on signs, because those colors like they make people alarmed. So I'm just gonna use a gray to provide some variety, and hopefully I'll be able to get it done good. And by that I mean I stay straight on the line, because honestly it's very hard for me to make straight lines, if you couldn't tell already. I feel like I'm already failing at it. And the reason why I'm doing this before I do any inking is because the zebra mild liners, if you didn't know, they have a tendency to smear a lot with ink. Now this isn't the case with printed materials, but as for this isn't the case with printed materials, but as for stuff that you just wrote down, it has a really good, it's really good at smearing. Especially if you use the Pilot pen, which are arguably the most smearable pens in existence. Like, I was filling in my accent color for the May ribbon at the beginning of this in the future log, and it created a bleed already, and I was like, what the heck, man. Alright, so now that we're done with the expense tracker, we are going to do the gratitude tracker, which also doesn't have that much freedom for designs and such, but that's okay, because we don't always need to have aesthetics. I messed up real bad. So because I was gonna put tracker before I wrote gratitude, I'm just gonna put the gratitude, I'm just gonna change this to the little things, or things I like. See, if you are making mistakes and you don't want to use whiteout, just come up with things on the spot and you'll be fine. Alright, so this is a different layout. It's not like my other layouts previously. This is my first time using 8 squares, and I like this layout because it's vertical. So in each section, we're gonna have our tasks and all and that kind of stuff. But why the 8th box, you might ask? Well, I'm gonna use this for my week goals and next week section. Alright, so as you can probably see, I have defined my week goals and next week in my notes section. So I'm just going to add a drop shadow to each of these, and rather than doing them in black, I'm going to do them in color. And I feel like doing them in color because who doesn't love a little splash of color in their lives? Sometimes you just need that color. So I have 4 different shades of yellow, gold, whatever you want to call this hue. I'm pretty sure it's yellow, but who knows? You might be like, no, this is called this in my culture. Oh, shoot. You know what's so hard about these caps? I don't know what way is the right way to put this on. So yeah, I have like 4 shades of yellow. 3 of them are from Crayola Super Tips markers, and the other one's just my zebra mild liner, because mild liners are nice. And as you can see with the colors, I'm going for darker shades of yellow as the page moves more to the right. So I didn't really know where to put the zebra mild liner in comparison to this Crayola Super Tip that I'm working with at the moment, because it is kind of similar in color, but they're really not the same color. If you get my drift, if you can catch my drift, because sometimes colors, like, they can look really similar, but some of them have a darker value than others, etc, etc, etc. So at this point, I think I accidentally mixed up my colors, because as you can probably see in my earlier page here, wow, I love how this looks already. It's so much better than my Easter theme. Yeah, wait, I can't tell. It really depends on how much of the color you use. So I don't know, we might have to see. I think the mild liner looks like it's darker, but I'm just gonna go through with this. And this does look a little bit more brown than it does yellow, but it kind of reminds me of golden shades, so I thought it was fine to include this color as well in this little wonderful selection we have going on here.